relevant cost was tested last diet, like I said, and it was question 3 or so. I think question 3. It was 20 marks question. You understand? And we treated everything very well. So all you just have to know about the relevant cost is for decision making. Relevant cost is for what? Is for decision making. Do you understand? So you want to know what are the costs that are relevant to decision making. For example, someone that want to write ICANN. Someone that want to write ICANN. Registration fee, exemption fee, lecture fee, or let's say lecture fee, development fee, sub textbooks, transportation for physical or data for online. All these are relevant to what? To ICANN program. Now, feeding fee. Feeding fee is not relevant because either you go for ICANN program or not. Man must what? Man must chop. So feeding is not relevant in decision making, whether I should start an ICANN program or not. Are you getting that now? But feeding can be relevant if there's going to be what we call incremental. That is, if I'm not going for ICANN lecture, I only eat 3 times in a day. But because I'm coming for ICANN lecture, when I get to the center, I will need to buy gala and Pepsi. If I'm not going for the lecture, I won't buy gala and Pepsi. But because I was in class and exhausted, I need something to refresh my what? My energy. So I need to buy gala and Pepsi. That incremental costs you will incur is relevant in decision making, either to go for ICANN or not. Are you getting that gist now? That is simple. It's no more than that. So this thing now can now be classified into material, labor, and the rest. It can be different type of costs you are going to consider to know if it is relevant or it's not relevant. Now, when we are talking about relevance, there are some specific grammar that we use. Once you see that grammar, or once they use that grammar, you know that it is relevant. And once they use some specific grammar, you know that it is not what? It is not relevant. For example, if they tell you variable cost is what? Is relevant. If they mention opportunity cost is what? Is relevant. I'll be explaining them one by one very soon. If they mention affordable cost is what? Is relevant. It means I won't have incurred this cost. I can avoid it if I'm not going into this program. Like data, why will I be using data? It's avoidable. Transportation to center is avoidable. But because I'm doing the program, I have to spend that money. So it is relevant. Why unavoidable is what? Is irrelevant. Either I go for the program or not, I will incur the cost. Do you understand now? Okay, so we are still mentioning the relevant cost. Incremental is also relevant. Fixed cost is not relevant. Everything is in that material. If you can go back to the material, you will get the details. Fixed cost is not relevant. Why is it not relevant? See, this place we are using for center, it is a fixed cost. We rented this place and we pay per what? Per annum. We are using this place for skills. If you like, use this place for skills, use this for ATS, use this for all the programs. It is paid for 1 year. So it does not affect the program. It is fixed. But as a result of using this place, we will need extra class that we have not paid for before. That extra class we are going to be using is what we call incremental. Do we understand now? So as a result of going for that another project, we will need to make payment for that extra. That one is relevant in decision making. There's something we call committed cost. Committed cost means you have already committed yourself to it. You said, I'm going to pay you in the next 2 years. So either you go for that project, or for example, maybe we are renting generator, and we rented that generator for 5 days. Either we go for the project or we don't go for the project, especially if the project will be within that 5 days. Either we go for the project or we not go for the project. We have already committed ourselves to that generator rentage. So it doesn't make any difference in decision making. Do we understand now? So all these things are there one after the other. So let's go back to the note. I'll just explain with simple illustration. They will now go into details about the material. The material aspect is the one I can love testing, because it's one that will shake you a bit, but it's nothing when we get there. So incremental costs, immutable costs, controllable costs, traceable costs, avoidable costs, direct costs, separate costs, attributable costs, and specific costs. Specific cost means if I'm not going for this cost is only specific as a result of this what? Of this project. This is very traceable, direct to that project. If I'm not going for this project, I won't incur that cost. So it is relevant when you are making your decision. Then irrelevant cost. Irrelevant cost, we have historical cost. Historical cost simply means past what? Past cost. You have already bought something. Do you understand now? We can call it original cost. We can call it historical cost. We can call it sunk cost. S-U-N-K, sunk cost. So they are already gone, past cost. Either we decide to go for the project or not, it will still remain the same thing. So it's not relevant. We have indirect cost, unavoidable cost, allocated cost, apportioned cost, what again? Prorated cost, uncontrollable cost. All these are what? Are irrelevant costs. All these are irrelevant costs. Okay, let's take it just bit by bit. I think I have explained incremental cost already. Do I still need to explain that? It's clear. Oh, thank you. Then the next one, differential cost. Let's look at this example. A differential cost is the amount by which future costs will be different depending which course of action is what is taken. For example, we used to recharge this electricity bill. We used to do our prepaid 5,000 per week, 5K per week. If you are not using it to run the tuition center, or if you are not using AC, because we are running 2 AC. If you are not using AC, we use this. But because we are using 2 AC now, we are using 10K per day, for example. This is incremental cost. As a result of making this decision to install the AC, there's a difference of what? Of 5K per week. That is differential cost. So when we are talking about the differential cost is relevant in what? In decision making. No time. Next one. You can look at this example now. A company needs to hire a photocopier for the next 6 months. It has to decide whether to continue using a particular type of what? Photocopier. Where I am, where? Okay, which is currently rent for how much? 2,000 each month. Or whether to switch to using a larger photocopier that will cost how much? 3,600 each month. If it hires the larger photocopier, it will be able to terminate the rental agreement for the current copier what? Immediately. Decision is whether to continue with using the current photocopier or to switch to the larger photocopier. One way of analyzing this photocopier is to say that the larger copier would be more expensive to rent. And what is the difference? 1,600. So that 1,600 is what? Is differential per month. Then multiply it by 12 months. Or how many months? 6 months. I mean, so multiply by 6, it will give you the total cost. Do we understand that? So that is differential. It's very simple to understand. Then if you are now talking about the committed cost now, you know, they are already using that smaller one. Assuming they cannot terminate it and get new one. Do you understand now? They have been using 2,600. I mean, is it 2,000? 2,000. But the new one will give them 3,600. I mean, but they said there's an option to terminate this one. So they terminate this, they go for the new one. That is why there's no issue. So the differential cost is just 1,600. But assuming if they are going to stop using this one, they will pay 5,000 or they will pay 500. This one is what we call what? What do you call it? It's committed. Do you understand? Either you cancel it or you not cancel it, you will pay. So we are going to be looking at all these tricky questions online. I hope you are with me. Let's leave that differential and I believe it's clear. So let's go to avoidable and not avoidable. A company has 1 year remaining on a short-term lease agreement on a warehouse. The rental costs how much? 100,000 per year. It's a year lease.
The line is breaking.
It's 1,000. I mean, it's 100,000 per year. The warehouse facility are no longer required. They won't have. They won't have been using that facility again. So it's no longer required. Now let's continue. The warehouse facility are no longer required because operations have been moved to another warehouse that has peer what? Capacity. If you are not using it again, do you still need to pay? No. But let's continue. If a decision is taken to close down the warehouse, the company will be committed to be paying the rental cost of how much? Up to the end of that term, because it's a lease. You have already agreed that you are going to use this thing for 1 year. So either you live there or not live there. You have committed to pay for that amount. So that committed cost is irrelevant in decision making. But let's continue. Where are we? However, it will save local taxes of how much? Of 16,000. That 16,000 is a savings. So it's a part of, it's relevant, but you reduce the cost for closing it down. Do you understand? For the year. And it will no longer need to hire the service of a security company to look after the empty building. That is another savings for closing down that place. Do you understand? Now, to look after that empty building, which currently costs how much? 40,000. The decision about whether to close down the unwanted warehouse should be based on relevant costs only. So the local taxes and the cost of the security services, which is 56,000 in total for the next year, could be avoided, and so that they are what? They are relevant costs. You know, how do we arrive at that 56,000? The total, 60,000 for the year. Then 40,000 for what? So when you add everything together, what do you get? You get 56. Do you understand now? So that cost is relevant when you are making decisions. Because I won't have incurred that cost if I'm closing that place down. But because of the project they want to go, they will need to use that place. And if they are using that place, they will pay for the security and the tax. Are we good to go? Yeah. That is the committed cost explained there. What again? Let's go to the next one. Sunk cost. Sunk cost is, I said, is a past cost, historical cost. So let's look at this example as well. A company must decide whether to launch a new product onto the market. It has spent 900,000 on developing that new product and a further 80,000 on market research. A financial evaluation for a decision whether or not to launch the new product should ignore the what? The development cost and the market research cost, because the 980,000 has already been spent and this cost has sunk cost. Sunk cost is irrelevant. Do you understand now? You want to start a project. You want to know how to run both physical class and online class at the same time. And you started developing software and everything. If you now decided, I cannot run the two together again, that money you have spent is already gone. So it's not supposed to be part of the irrelevant cost. So it's a past. Okay, let's look at the next one now. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a benefit that will be lost by taking one course of action instead of the next most profitable course of what? Of action. Opportunity cost is simple. Look at this. You are coming for ICANN classes, but you are selling. Let's assume you are selling something in the front of your house, and every day you used to get from the selling, you used to get like 1,000 per day. You know, we have listed all our costs for ICANN, the registration fee, everything up to the feeding. This 1,000 you are going to miss as a result of being in class is part of the relevant cost. Because if you are not attending this class, that 1,000 will enter your account. So this is what we call what? Opportunity cost. It will enter your account. Here we are getting the video. Let's look at the story, the brief story. A company has been asked by a customer to carry out a special job. The work will require how many hours? 20 hours of skilled labor time. There is a limited availability of skilled labor. They need skilled labor to do the job, but they don't have enough to do the two jobs at the same time. Do you understand now? But they need 20 hours for the new job. Now let's continue. If the special job carried out for the customer, skilled employees will have to be moved from where? From doing other work that earns how much? 600 naira per hour. So it means you will stop them from working on that particular job that is giving 600 naira per hour. You will now move them to the new special job you have because you don't have enough people to do it. As a result of moving them from that place to this place, how many are you losing that place? You are losing 600 naira per hour. So the total amount you are losing, because it's going to take how many hours to finish this new job? 20 hours. So it's going to be 600 multiplied by 20 hours. What do you get? 12,000, 12K. It means you are losing 12K as a result of moving the employees, the staff from that place to this special place. That amount you are forfeiting, that foregone contribution is what we call opportunity what? Opportunity. And it is relevant in decision. So we are getting the gist. Oh yeah, let's move. No time. We are now going to normal question now. All this one are just to explain all the terminology you can be using. Okay, I'm back to Fortune and Okpoluwa now. Let's go back to example 1. We are now starting. But before we go to that place, let me explain this one very quickly. Now that we all know what the relevant costs and all those not relevant costs are, they are all about. There's something we call the material aspects. And you need to follow and see this diagram. And see this diagram. So this diagram will help you. When you open your book, it will direct you on how to go about it. So the first one is the material. We want to know if it is relevant and not relevant. And if it is relevant, what do we need to what? What do we need to do? So we have, do we have the material? That is the first question you will ask yourself. So we can have two answer. Yes. And what? And no. That is, do we have the material in stock? That's what it means. For example, you want to go into project. The first question to ask yourself is, do we have the material? So if you don't have the material, then you go to that place. Because of this place, let me put no here. Because this place will long. Let me put yes. So what do you do if you don't have the material to use? So buy from the market. Abi? Buy from what? From the market. And if you are buying at the market, at what cost are you going to use? You will use market what? Market price. Or we call it replacement what? Replacement cost. Simple. That one is straightforward. We have a special order and we need this particular material. Do we need the material? Do we have the material in store? No. We have go and buy from the market. That's settled with this. Where you are not going to see the issue is when the answer is yes. Do we have the material? Yes, there is issue. You now look at it. There's another question you ask yourself. Is it regularly used? Or what? Or not regularly used? Regularly used? Or what? Or not regularly used? If it is regularly used, There's a small what? There's a small problem, but it's not a problem. All you just have to do is that as you are using it, you will buy it again because you must not out of that stock. Like this, our marker now is regularly used. We cannot be out of it. So if one is finishing now, we have to get another one because it's a regularly used material. Are we getting that? So what do you do when it is regularly used? Go to the markets and buy. Replacement what? Replacement cost. That's the solution. Replacement. Just go, because as you are buying, you have to replace. As you are buying, you have to replace it because you use it every time. But if the answer is not regularly used, then what do? You go to the market. You use two options. The first option is, can we use it in another place? It's not regularly used, so it means we can just buy, and then that's the end of that one. But now we have two options. If it's not regularly used and we have it in stock, we can either say, if we are not using it in these projects, we can dispose it. Yes or no? So you can use either the scrap value. Because you won't be able to use it again if you are not using it for this. So it's either you use the scrap value or alternative what? Alternative use. Alternative use means, yes, we are no longer using, we are not using it regularly, but this, we can scrap it. Or if we are not using it for this, we can use that particular material for another thing. For example, this thing, if they are no longer using it again, they can use it to make something else, like a recycling. Do you understand? You will now look at the two. This is 50, this is 40. You will now compare. Then you pick the higher one for decision making. Sure, we are together. It's not more than that. Oh, yeah, let's start. Let's pick a question now. After the diagram. Don't look at the diagram. The diagram look anyhow, but it will help you in decision making. Yes, who is there for us? If you are there, I'm here. Question 1, example 1.
Question 1. B Limited is preparing a quotation for a special order that will require 5,000 kg of material M. A total of 4,000 kg of material M are also held in stock at a book value of 4 naira per kg. The material is no longer used by the company, and if it is not used on this order, it will be sold for 3 naira per kg. Rental of the space in which material M is stored will then be saved, but 1 month's notice is required to cancel the rental agreement of 750 naira per month. The current market price of material M is 6 naira per kg. The elements of relevant cost to be added to the cost of the order when preparing the quotation include solution cost analysis. 1. Sunk costs.
Let's stop there.
Sorry, all figures are assumed.
Yes, thank you. Let's analyze the question. Because this is the first question, I'll take my time to analyze it very well. So the thing is that they said B Limited is preparing a quotation for special order. So the name of the quotation is a special order quotation. And as an accountant, you now need to see that they now call you as a management accountant. Please come. This is the project you want to go into. Can you help us to identify all the relevant costs that we need in this project? So you now sit down. You start telling them this and this and this and this. So for this special order, they need 5,000 what? 5,000 of the material what? Of material M. They need 5,000 to conclude and complete that project. But from this project now.
Sorry, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not following. Please, where did we read from? I just joined today. Now.
Now and today.
Yes.
5,000 fine. Go to the material relevant cost and go to example.
Okay.
Page what is that, sir? Page 5.
Page 5.
Do we understand now? This 4,000 kg is in the what? Is in the store. You know, the problem we have ourselves is that is the material available? We said yes or what? Or no. But this question now, 4,000 kg is in stock. So they needed how many? So there's one balance there, Abi. So no issue. They will need to go to the market and buy the what? The 1,000 kg to make it 5,000. So as a result of going to the market, how much are they going to buy this one? They will buy it at market price because they are just going there today. So is it that you call it market price or replacement what? Replacement. So they will buy it at that replacement. Now the problem is now the one they have in the store. What is now the issue? They now said what? What do they say now?
A total of
book value of 4 naira. That book value is the original amount they purchased that 4,000 kg. Therefore, it is a past cost. And past cost is irrelevant. So that one, no issue. The same book value. That is the amount they have it in the book. They mentioned another one, scrap value. Abi, they said the scrap value is how much? 3 naira. Is it 3 naira? Yeah. They said they can sell it for 3 naira. That is the scrap value. It means if they want to sell, they will sell for how much? 3 naira. The question is the scrap value or alternative use. Is there any alternative use for this material? Is there alternative use of this material M? Can they use the material M to make something else? Yeah. Look at the question now. Is rental of the place the same thing as material M?
No.
No, they can't use the material.
No alternative use.
So there's no alternative use. They can't use the material M to make something else. So if they can't use it for something else, it means we are going to use what? We use the scrap value as the cost. Do we get that now? So if you now want to cost it now, it means it's going to be 3,000 multiplied by 4. I mean 3 naira multiplied by 4,000. That will give us what? 12,000 plus how much is the market price?
6 naira. Okay.
6 naira. And we want to go to the market to buy how many thousand? 1,000. So that will be 1,000 times 6,000. That's 6,000, Abi. I mean,
Yes,
6
sir.
naira. Sorry. So that's 6,000. 6,000 plus 12,000. What is that?
That's 18,000.
18, eh?
18,000.
18,000 is the relevant cost. But however, if you want to select now, they said we should do the analysis of what? Of the cost. It means you are going to calculate all the costs you can see with your eyes here. You now put at the front relevant, irrelevant, this opportunity cost, these are the costs, this and that. The way they do get that. So using this, I believe we all know the answer already. But let's now go to the detailed analysis. So here now, we want to mention, we want to analyze both relevant and what? And irrelevant. So we now say analysis of what? Analysis of costs. If you like, you can put here comments. Okay? And here you can put what? You can put workers. Number one, we have 5,000 kg. Is it 5,000?
Yes, 5,000.
Multiply by 6 naira. Or multiply by, no, they have 4,000 in the, they have 4,000 kg, Abi.
Yes.
Multiply by 4 naira, Abi.
Yes.
That gives us what? 16,000. What type of cost is this? Some
Historical.
historical or small. Because we are using the past price to calculate. Are we getting that now? Then number two, we have 1,000 balance multiplied by what? 6 naira. Because they will go to the market to buy. That gives us what? 6,000. This one is what? Replacement cost. Replacement cost. Because they will go and buy it. Then we have another one. 4,000 times 3 naira. That gives us what? 12,000. What type of cost is that? Scrap cost. Scrap. Scrap. Number what? Number 4. What again do we have? Is there another cost we have there? Now, you have to tell them 1 month notice. So that 1 month notice, either you go for the project or not go for the project, you will pay that 1 month notice. It is a committed cost. It's a committed cost. So 1 month notice, 750, I mean. 750 is the committed. And I said committed cost is what? Is irrelevant. Is irrelevant. What cost again do we have there? Eh? That's all the cost. So that is all the cost you can see. I bring it here.
There's incremental cost.
There's incremental cost. Where is it? Oh yeah, read, let me know. Is it the same thing with this? The same thing. It's the replacement cost. Is it regularly used? Is the material regularly used? Okay, so we cannot call this one placement. Assuming it's regularly used now, we need to replace when we are using it. But since it's not regularly used, there's no point of replacing. So, but as a result of going for this project, there's an incremental cost. So that's why we can call it the incremental. You understand? Any other thing, that's all right. So out of this now, you can now select. So relevant cost from this project, it will be what? Incremental cost. That would be 6,000, Abby.
Yeah.
Then this describe value, Abby. That would be 12,000. Giving us total of what? That is the relevant cost we have to. Online, are we together? Simple, right?
Like
Yes, sir.
you said that. Hello?
How with you?
All right, like from the diagram you explained earlier before now, you said if the material is not available, you either buy from the market, and it's either we buy it in market price or replacement cost.
Yeah.
So you now replacing it with incremental cost, it got me confused.
Another name for replacement cost is the same thing as market price. Do you understand?
Okay.
You go to the market, you buy, or you are replacing it. You still go to the market to replace it. So the two is just like a synonym, Sabi. And so you can interchange with that words.
So if we use in replacement cost where you wrote incremental, we are still on the point.
You are still at the point. The only thing is that there is no point of replacing that material if it is not regularly what? Regularly used. So the grammar is technically not correct. If you put replacement, it means why am I replacing when it's not regularly used? But if it is regularly used now, I can put replacement. That is, I'm using this one and I'm replacing it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so let's go to the next question. Number 2. What is number 2 saying? Number 2.
Example 2. Okay. In order to complete a special order, a firm needs materials S and T. There are ample quantities of both in stock. S is commonly used within the business, whereas T is now no longer used for other products. You are given a table and say relevant information for the 2 types of material.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Let me snap it to the platform and then we continue. She's going up and down. I will find out. What are you looking for? She doesn't know that 1 minute of missing the class, you go look before you understand. We'll find out. Let's go to the next one. You can see that question is still talking about material. So what is the question? They said they want to go into project, Abi. And how many material do they need? They have 3 material, Abi. 2 material. Material X like this?
No, S.
Okay, S. And T. Okay. So for material S, how many material do they need?
2 kg.
They need 2 kg. 2 kg. How about T?
3 kg.
3 kg.
They need 3 kg. 2 kg, 3 kg. That's what that's the required material. For S, for 2 kg, do they have any material S in the store? They have it in store at all.
They said there are ample policies of both in stock.
They are what?
There are ample
Both are in stock.
of both
They are
in
in
stock.
stock, Abi. How many do
Yes.
you have in store?
210. So that is the thought. Oh,
There are ample policies of both in store. What does it mean when they say ample? Means plenty. They get them plenty. So you don't need to go to the market to buy. You get everything for what? Store. That is the first question you ask us. Do they have the material in store? The answer is yes for both of them. Now, another question you now ask yourself, are they regularly used? Which one is regularly used then?
Yes.
S is
Yes.
regularly used. Regularly used. How about C?
No longer used for other products.
Yes, not regularly used. That's this one that is regularly used. If you use, you must what? You must replace it. So since you are replacing, you are going to use what? For material S, you will use replacement what?
Replacement cost.
So which is going to be 2 kg times 420. 420 is what? Is the replacement cost.
Replacement cost.
So that gives
Yes,
us
sir.
what?
840.
840. 840. That is the replacement. That is the relevant cost for that material. The second one, material T, is not regularly used, but they have it in store. Another question you're going to ask yourself, is there a scrap value and alternative use? Is there alternative use for this material T? No. You can
No
only
alternative.
any other thing. So we'll now go for the option 2. What is the option 2? We cannot use the original value because that one is a what? A sunk cost. And
Sunk
sunk
cost.
is not. So we will now say, okay, 3, okay, we're going to use the scrap, scrap cost. This is going to be 3 kg. 3 kg times 40 naira, Abi. What do we get?
120.
120.
120.
Total.
960.
960. 960 is what? Relevant.
Cost.
Is it not simple? Is it not simple? And you will see this thing in your exam last night. 20 marks, and you cannot grab it 20 and put that 20 in your pocket. Eh? Okay, that is the relevant cost in that question. But we are, we are starting from the scratch now.
Yes.
We are going there. Assignments. Let me just tell you now. Assignment is the last November question. That is the assignment 1. November 2024. Question 4. Question 4. 20 marks. Question 4. If you don't submit and next week, don't enter class. Okay, my people online. Next question. Do I need to snap this? No. No, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Is it no or yes?
Yes. Yes.
As you snap it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm seeing yes.
Yes.
All right, let me snap it. So you can pick the next question now, question 3 or so. Example 3. Let's be taking it step by step like that.
Okay. Question 3. In order to utilize some spare capacity, Ade Limited is preparing a quotation for a special order that requires 1,000 kg of material R. Ade Limited has 600 kg of material R.
Three.
Original cost is 5 naira per kg. Material R is used in the company's main product Q. The resale value of material R is 4 naira per kg. The present replacement price of material R is 6 naira per kg. Material R is readily available in the market. The relevant cost of the 1,000 kg of material R to be included in the quotation is.
Thank you very much. Everybody, exercise. Let's do it. No look at the workbook. Oh. Within 3 minutes, calculate what is the relevant cost. Calculate the relevant cost. Make sure you understand what you have done, because I will come and ask you personally. I will come and ask you personally. Online, I hope you know what you are doing. Calculate the relevant cost from that question before we go to the advanced question.
Am I anything? Are we still on?
It's which are in
So you
class.
should do number 3.
Give us something to solve. Example 3.
Precious, because you want to give us the answer, you will explain to us.
Please, sir, I've been disconnected though. I just connected, please.
We are done. Okay, not that to waste because you have long way to go. And I want to try to finish it today. So let's look at the question again. In order to utilize some, is it the same question? In order to utilize some spare capacity, Ade Limited is preparing a quotation for a special order that requires 1,000 kg. It's still the same thing. Special what? Special. There's a need for 1,000 kg. Ask yourself, do we have in store? How many do we have in store? We have 600 in store. So it means we need to buy 400. Buy the 400 at what?
Market price.
Market price.
Market.
6 naira.
We don't actually have issue with the one to buy. As long as you are buying, you have to buy at market price or replacement cost. How much is the market price? 6
naira.
The one we have issue with is the 600. We will now ask ourselves a further question. Is it regularly used or not?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
regularly
it
used.
is.
So since it is regularly used, we need to replace it. But before we replace, we need to know. Okay, since it's regularly used, you don't even have any problem. Just use what? Market price. Because it is regularly used. When you buy, you have to replace. But if it's not regularly used, that's where we now ask ourselves, how much is the scrap value and is there any alternative? I've already told her that you are fine already. She will tell you later. Do you understand now? So in order to conclude this, is equals to, what is the name of that material, chef?
Material
R.
Material R, we need 1,000 kg. So break down, therefore, 600 kg multiplied by 6 naira, which is as replacement cost. As replacement cost. That gives us what? 6,000. No.
3,600.
3,600. Then 400 at what?
Market price of 6 naira.
At market price, which is the same thing as replacement cost or replacement cost. That would be 12, I mean,
2,400.
That would give us
6,000 naira.
And that is all. So that is the relevant what? The relevant. That is the relevant. That is the relevant. That is the relevant. It is simple and straightforward. Let's pick another one very quickly. They said try this. Let me help those who are helping us to read. Try this. An engineering company has been what? Offered the opportunity to bid for a contract which require a special what? Component. Currently, the company has a component installed. That is question 1. They have so it means they are not buying anything. They have all the components in what? Installed. Now, we now continue. Which has a net book value of how much? Of 250,000. That 250,000, what type of cost is that?
Irrelevant.
Yes, it's irrelevant. But what is the Sunk cost.
cost.
Sunk cost.
Thank you very much. It's like exam should be tomorrow. Then
Yeah.
this component could be used in the contract alternative. Can you see now? Then, but it's historical, but there's alternative use now. This contract can be used in the contract, so they can use it in this contract. Do you understand? Okay. But we require what? Modification at a cost of what? If they're not going for this contract, are they going to spend that 50,000? There's no need of spending 50,000. But because they want to use it for this project, for this contract, they will need to spend 50,000 extra cost to modify it. That 50,000 is an incremental cost. Do we understand now? An incremental cost is irrelevant.
It's breaking
But
out.
some cost is irrelevant. Some cost is irrelevant. That's your network. Other people can hear me. There is no other foreseeable use for this component held in what? In stock. There's no even alternative use. There is no alternative use. Are we getting that now? Alternatively, the company could purchase a new specialist component for how much? For 2A. The relevant costs using this component currently held in stock for this contract is what? When you now compare, look at it. They can purchase it for how much? But they can modify this with what?
50,000.
50,000.
Do we understand now? Which one are you going to advise them as accountants? To buy the new one or modify it? To modify. Do you understand now? To modify. So 50,000 is the relevant cost. But let's say they can purchase another one for 40,000. This one is not relevant. They should go for purchasing the new one. So purchasing that new one is the relevant cost because it's the lowest cost. Are you getting that this now? So I'm using this simple question to illustrate, to make the foundation strong before we go. So from this first, we are still foundation level. We are not yet in skills. By the time we enter skills, we understand, then we now move to professional aspect. So the relevant cost here is 50K. Let's write that one. The relevant cost in this case is what? Is 50,000 naira. And that 50,000 naira is what? Is the incremental cost. Now, next one, that is the complex. So let me clean this up. They're now in skills now. Yes, who's ready to help us? Or let me read this part just to summarize what we have been doing since morning. The complex or relevant costing. In the short-term decision making, the management will consider the relevant costs of the cost elements and the irrelevant cost of the element. For decision making, like we said, for decision making, as we said, purposes can be classified into relevant and irrelevant. Relevant cost should be used in decision making is called as relevant cost. Leave all this story. I've explained the sunk cost, I've explained absorption cost, I've explained committed cost, notional cost. The cost used in production or in product evaluation, decision making, or performance evaluation to represent the cost of using resources which has no actual cost. So the notional costs are irrelevant. Anything like interest, Anything like depreciation is irrelevant. You understand now? Because depreciation is just for the accounting purpose. We only use that depreciation for accounting records. We have already incurred the cost. Either we use it or not, the asset is what? Is depreciation, is depreciating. But because we don't want to charge the cost once, we want to be prorating it over the cost. Do you understand? So depreciation is irrelevant, interest is irrelevant. Anything notional. When we get to divisional performance, we know more about that. Identification of relevant costs, we have done all that. No issue with this. Yes, my people, let's go to question number 1. This is where the story, you can see that we are now in skills level now. We are now in skills level now. Who is ready to help us? Question 1 under the skills level.
Question 1.
Question 1.
Okay.
Following materials are needed for a special order. All figures are assumed to be correct. Material B is regularly used by the company and, if needed, purchased from the market. Material C and D are in stock as a result of excess purchases and they are restricted in use. No other use is available for C. However, material D could be used as a substitute for 500 units of material Y, which could be purchased at SR 5 per unit. As material Y is not available as stock. Required, compute the relevant cost of materials for this job.
Thank you very much. It's simple and also straightforward. But just that the story has increased to the story we used to see.
Yes, so
The type of story you are going to see in the exam is not one-line story. If you check last diet question, it's not just one-line story. You will see a one-page story, but the principle remains the same thing. Regular, not regular. Use. As long as you know the principle, just be applying to it. At the end of the day, all of you will arrive at the same thing. No matter how they cook the story, we'll be unraveling it one by one. So the story has increased now. They said they want to go for a particular project, Abi?
Yeah.
Now, how many material do we now have now? It has increased.
Material.
It's no longer one material. A, B, C, D. Abi? That's 4 materials.
Yeah.
Required. How many do we need?
1,000 for A.
1,000 kg, Abi?
Yeah.
Required. For B?
500.
500 kg required.
750.
750 kg required.
400.
400 kg required. $400 kg required. In store. Do you have anything in store for material?
Nothing for A.
Since they don't have anything in store, our problem is very easy. What do you go do? Go to market. At least, as long as it is compulsory, we use all this material for the special order. And all the material must be present. And we don't have this one in the store. Go to the market and what? And buy.
Okay.
Number B, do we have it in store?
Yes,
We
we have 300.
So 300 in the market. I mean in the store. What do you do to You buy. You buy the remaining 200 in the market. You will now come back to the one you have in store. Is it regularly used or not? It is regularly used. It means It means if I even use this 300, I must still replace it. Do you understand now? Since I'm still going to replace it, I will buy this one from I will use this one and buy. So, but when I'm buying, I'm going to use the market price. So this one will be, the two will be at market price. So I get the case.
Yes, sir.
Replacement cost or market price. Now, next one, number C.
We
Number
have
C.
400 in stock.
We have 400 in the store. We need 750. Difference is what?
350.
We'll go to the markets and buy the 350. We now ask ourselves a further question. This 400, is it regularly in use?
No.
You said they are restricted in
No,
use.
restricted, not
They are
regularly.
restricted in use. Don't be deceived with their grammar. As long as you know restricted, whatever, shall know that you want to categorize it into two. Regularly in use, not regularly in use. So it means restricted in use, it means they are not regularly in use. So since it's not regularly in use, you need to ask yourself two more questions. What is the question one?
Is there an alternative use?
The
Use
alternative
or
or
scrap.
scrap value.
Alternative of cover. Is there an alternative for this?
No.
Oh,
For C, no.
Yes.
Say no other
There is
use, Abi.
alternative, Abi.
No, for C, no other
For
use.
C, no alternative.
But C, no alternative use, Abi. So it means
Yes, it's scrap.
all we just need to do is use it and forget it. We don't need it again.
Yes.
So we'll use this one at what? At scrap value.
Scrap, yes.
We just use it as scrap value and forget about it. Number next. Do we have it in store?
Yes, we have
Yes.
400.
400.
We have 400 in store. So we are not buying anything outside. Are we getting that now? We don't need to bother ourselves by buying outside. Now that we have 400 in store, we need to ask ourselves again, is it regularly used or not? It is not
Not
regularly
regularly used.
so we don't have problem with that. We will now ask ourselves again another two questions. Scrap value or alternative use? Is there any
Alternative use.
Alternative.
Alternative. Yes,
You
sir.
now compare the scrap value with what? With
The
alternative.
alternative. Whichever is there.
So see, if you understand this step, no matter how that's relevant cost, how you want to be, you will break it down. Do you understand? So now, I'm going to remove this now because I just use this
Hello,
one as
sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, please. Why are we not buying for D?
For D,
For material D.
we don't need to buy because it's not regularly used.
And everything is in store.
Yes, it's in store. It's in store and it's not regularly used. As long as it's regularly used, even if it's in store and it's regularly used, we need to go and buy and replace it. But we have it in store and it's not regularly used. People use it. It's like I've been praying, God, help me, let me just, I don't want this thing to spoil in my store. And God just help me, I just have the contract. And you go away. Do you understand? So now let's now do the solution now. And what you should be able to do the solution now, even with this explanation. Did I give you 5 minutes? It's there already. Don't worry, I'm going to give you the one that is not there. But I intentionally put those things there to guide so that you understand the basic very well. So now we have for material. For material. 8 is going to be 1,000 kg. Don't ask me why and how. How much multiplied by how much?
5.
5 times 5 naira as a market price, Abi. That gives us what? 5,000 at
5,000.
replacement cost. That gives us 5,000 naira. Forget about R. R there is the South Africa money, abi? Rands, abi, so we don't need it. Let's spend naira. Or you don't want to spend naira? We want to spend dollars. That is better.
300.
Okay, 300 for material B. No, what is the total material?
500.
Okay, so 300 kg at, which is market price, abi?
Yes.
So we say at replacement cost. 1,200. Then the balance of this material B is 200 kg
At 4 naira.
at 4 naira, abi?
Yes.
Because they will need to replace it as well. Or we can call this one market price, abi?
That's 100.
At replacement cost. That is 800 naira. Material C, how much?
400.
350.
400 first, abi?
400. Yes, sir.
But that 400 is, we don't need to replace it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since they are not in use,
They are not in use. Multiply by what?
3.
Scrap.
By scrap.
By scrap, which is 3 naira, abi?
No.
Yes, sir.
Before,
Huh?
before, no.
Yes, it
Naira,
is.
4 naira.
Before naira, sir, not 3.
How much is scrap
Four.
value?
It's
4
4
naira.
naira.
4
4
naira.
naira.
Yes.
For 400 multiplied by 4 naira. Okay, this will be our scrap value, abi?
Yes.
At
Yes.
scrap.
Realizable value.
Okay, thank
Scrap, the same thing.
same thing.
It is
Either
same thing.
realizable or realizable value or realizable cost. That would be 1,600, I mean. So we have balance of 350. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Which means we need to go and buy from the market. How much is it? 3 naira.
3.
At market price.
Right.
That would give us what?
1,050 naira.
1,050 naira. So we go to next one. Material D. Material D is 400 kg, abi? And everything is in the market. Yes or no? Everything is in the stock, sorry.
Yes.
But the question we ask ourselves is that, is it that we use the scrap or we use the alternative use, abi? So 400, right? What price are we using now? You ask yourself, the scrap is how much?
That is 6 naira.
The scrap is 6 naira. But the alternative is how much?
5 naira.
Alternative is
5.
4 naira. 4 naira.
Alternative is 5.
It's 5 naira now.
Oh, yeah, let's look at
Oh.
it here. What is that
okay,
material?
5 naira, yes.
What's that information about material D? Material C and D are in stock as a result of excess what? Purchases. And they are restricted in use. No other use is available for C. However, material D could be used as a result of what? Substitute for 500 units of what? Of material Y. You understand now? Which could be purchased at what? At
5
5.
naira.
It means what this place is saying is that material D could be used as a substitute for 500 units of what? It means everything you are seeing here is equal to 500 what? kg. You understand now? This material you are seeing for D will be used as what? Replacement. When you quantify it, when you look at it, it will be equal to 500 kg to produce material Y. I mean, to use in place of material Y. Do you understand now? And this 500 costs how much? 5 naira. When you multiply, what do you get?
2,500.
25.
2,500. Equal of what? This is better than that. Now, this is 2,500. The number 400 multiplied by how much? Is it 5?
400
That is what?
multiplied by 6
That's 2,000.
The sky value for D is what?
is 6.
6.
6.
Is it 6
The
or
sky
5?
value is 6.
So
6.
6.
The sky value is 6. When you multiply these two, what do you get?
24.
2,400.
2,400. So the scrap value is 2,400. The alternative use is what? 25. Choose higher of the two.
Oh, 3.
Higher of the two is what? So we are using the
25.
costs as a relevant cost. Here we are getting. So therefore, when you come back here and say, $400 is also equals to what? 500 kg for one. Yes or no? So it means it's going to be 500 kg multiplied by 5 naira at alternative what? Alternative use, which is 2,500.
500.
Higher of the two. If I have to be you, I will do the other one at the front. I will not say higher. Higher compare scrap to what? To alternative. So our total scrap, our total relevant cost. Total relevant cost equals to what? When you add all these figures together, what's our total relevant cost?
12,150.
12,150. So 12,150 is a relevant, the total relevant cost in that material. Any question? Because that is the rule. It's the rule of the game.
I was thinking it is possible.
Because it's the higher. You pick the higher. Because you are losing that one. You pick the higher cost. You understand? You pick the higher. If you pick lower cost, you are understating your cost. You are understating the cost. The higher should have been the cost you are going to. For example, those who used to do all this handwork people, all these handwork people, if they have a particular material in the store, in their store, they will have it in the store. They say, let me call market. Hello, market. How much is this thing? How much is this thing? That will say it's 18,000 now. They bought that in 10,000. That will say it's 18,000. They say, oh, that they say it's 18,000. So yeah, help me fix it. When they are coming, they are not going to that market to. They will bring it from their store, fix it for you. So yeah, they are smart. They are using relevant cost. Yeah? But I don't know now. But this thing, all this thing we are doing, it just sense it's something that is reasonable. Why will I have something in the market? Because they are going to replace that thing later. And they need to go and buy it in the market. So it makes sense. Now follow. Okay, let's move on. I believe online, no question. Let me snap this and send to you. By the time we are done with this now, I can now say yes. Go to that question 4 last diet. Go and tackle it. Then I will also pick another question. Eh? Okay, you know, it will be it's the same process, the same procedure. Okay. Where are we now? Which one are we taking now? The next one is question 2, right? The next
Yes,
one is
sir.
so you are here, I'm here.
Question 2. A company has recently received a special order from a client to supply 10 gates within a month for 80,000 RS each. If the company decides to accept this order, following cost information would have to be considered. 1. Material. 7 meters of iron are required for a gate. At present, 10 meters of iron are available in the stores with a total book value of 60,000. The current market value of iron is 7,000 per meter. 2. Labor. Requirement is 27 hours per gate. The company expects to use 0.303 ideal workers for the job. A worker is required to work 180 hours a month, 20 working days, and is paid with a monthly salary of 50,000. In addition, each worker is paid with an incentive commission of 10,000 per order. 3. Overhead. The budgeted overhead cost is 10,000 for a month and is absorbed at a rate of 550 per unit labor hour. It is estimated that monthly overhead cost of the company would increase by 15,000 per gate with this order. You are required to 1. Identify and compute the relevant cost and irrelevant cost of each cost element with reasons. 2. State whether the company should accept the order on the basis of relevant cost.
Thank you very much. The question here is asking for 2 things. They said you should calculate relevant costs, then calculate irrelevant. So it means you must be able to calculate both. Calculate all the costs like we did the first question we picked. Analyze all the costs. Then separate relevant and separate irrelevant. And they said you should be putting what? Comments. And how they don't put comment there? Okay, they don't put comment, are we? Okay,
They said with reasons.
With reasons. So the reasons why you are calling it relevant. So what we have been doing since morning, because it's a replacement, because it's not replacement, because it's committed. So those are the grammar they want to see as reasons. Okay. So let's look at it now. So from the project, they said they want to go into special order. Is it special order? Yeah. It's special order. You want to go into special order. What is that special all about? Gates. Is it gate?
Yes.
So let me look at it. They say a company has recently received a special order from a client to supply how many gates? So they want to supply 10 gates. That is the order. They want to supply 10 gates. If you are into manufacturing of gates, this question is for you. So they want to supply 10 gates. They now continue, they said, within a month, for how much? 80,000. You won't be able to know the decision if they not give you this 80,000. This 80,000 is the total revenue they are expecting on these 10 gates. You see on each gate?
Yes.
So it means that 80,000 will be multiplied by 10.
By 10.
That would be like 800,000, abi? So it means the total revenue for that gate is 800,000. We will now calculate all the relevant costs. We will less it from the total revenue. If we have a positive left over, then they can continue. But if the cost is more than the revenue, then we ask them not to accept the payment.
Yeah.
You understand? That 80,000 is for the revenue calculation. Let's continue. If the company decides to accept this order, following cost information will have to be what? To be considered. Material. 7 meters of iron are required for how many gates? For a gate. So it means, okay, so per gate now, there's need for how many? 7 meters of iron.
Mm.
Do you understand now? Per gate. And we are doing how many gates?
10 gates.
10 gates. That would be 70 times 10. 7 times 10 meter. And let's say yes, 70 meters. That is the total material. Let's continue. 7 meters are required. At present, 10 meters of iron are available in the store. They have 7 out of 70. They have 10. I mean, they have 10 out of 70.
10.
So, available in store equals to 10 meters. So, they will buy 70 meters minus 10 meters equals to what? At what? At market price.
7,000. 60 meters. We're buying 60 meters at 7,000. 7 times 60.
Special order 10 gates.
So like the market price is 7,000.
Oh, okay. Yes, now. But we are still analyzing the quantity to buy, not the price yet. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
So they will need to buy 60 meters in the market, which will now be multiplied by the market price. Let's continue. But this time now, let's stop if it is regularly in use, because we need to also cost this 10 meters. Let's continue. They said available in the store with the total book value of how much? Of 60,000. That 60,000 is what? Is a sum cost. Are we going to use the figure? No. The current market value of iron is how much?
7,000.
That is the 7,000 we are going to use as a replacement cost or market price for this one. But we are not going to use the what? The 60,000. Yes.
1,000 times 7 meters.
Yes, I mean for the relevant cost now. But for irrelevant cost, 60,000 is irrelevant. So we'll calculate it later. That is for material. But are we told if this thing is regularly used?
No.
It's not regularly used. And it's just a project, Abi. A special order. Since it's a special order, they may not use that material again. Do you understand? So it means we'll buy this for how much? 700. And there's no scrap value. Did they give us scrap value? No scrap value. So it means we will still buy this one at what? At that 70,000. Do you understand? As long as there's no scrap value. But as we have the scrap value now, we will use the scrap value to cost it. Are we good to go? The question we'll be solving this morning is about material. Now we come to labor. Do you understand? Labor is also a direct material. Eh? We should solve the next one. Okay, we should conclude it. We have done already. So it means we are having 60 meter times 7,000, and then the 10 meter multiplied by 7,000. What do we get? This will give me 70,000, Abi. This one for
420.
420,000. Total
490,000.
490,000.
So are we replacing the 10? Hello, sir.
Yes, we are not supposed to replace, but they did not tell us any information. We don't know the scrap value. Assuming we know the scrap value now, we will use the scrap value to measure it. Do we understand? But we don't know the scrap value. Or is the scrap value given to us in the question? Scrap value is not given to us in the question, right? And we cannot use sunk cost. It's not allowed. Do you understand? So it is better we use what? It's better we use the market price for everything.
So, sir, the 10 meters, so are we going to treat that one as irrelevant cost?
The 10 meters should have been what?
I said, are we going to treat it as irrelevant cost?
It's relevant now because the total material you want to use is 70 meters. So you have 10, you also have 60. So you buy the 60, you will buy the 10. I think there should be replacement, that should be something like this thing is regularly used. Since they're not giving us the scrap value, there should be something like regularly used, like a green light. But there's nothing like that. Yes.
That hasn't done scrap, we are given replacement, but it is not stated in the question
That is regularly used. You use scrap, you will use scrap for that one. You understand them? It was not stated in the question that it is regularly used, but they gave you market price and scrap value. You will use scrap value for that 10. Do you understand? But if they give you scrap value and they state that it is regularly used, you will use the replacement cost. Do you understand now? So that is it. Let's go to the next one. Any other question online? Are we good now? We are good. Number 2. Labor requirements. Labor. Requirement is 27, how many hours? 27 hours per gate. Let's put here material. Let's put here labor. Required hour is 27 hours per gate multiplied by 10 gates per minute. They will need how many hours? 70 hours. 270 hours. 270 hours is required. Let's continue. 270 hours is required. Okay, at present, I know the company expects to use 3 idle workers for the job. Anytime you see idle, it is irrelevant. Anytime you see idle, it means it is what? Irrelevant. It means they are not doing anything. You can easily fix them for that project. For all these firms, we all know that in January, most of there will be much work like that in January because all the work have been, let's say there will be some work because we'll be doing inventory count and rounding up the account. But you should have done that. But let's say around June, July, there may not be much work at that period. Workload. Many people will stay in the office, sit down in the office, just be pressing laptop. Then I was in the office during that period, just be pressing laptop, just be chatting. Because that time it's not peak period. But when it is going to like September, August, December, as you are leaving this one, you are going to another one, as you are leaving this one. So at that time when we are in the office, that is our idle time. If they collect another audits to do you understand? They will cost them nothing. They will just you, both of you, go and take that audit, go and do it. But during the peak period, you are working on one audit. Maybe that one is paying us 200,000. Another one just have his account here. That one is paying us 3 million naira. Our boss will say, yeah, leave this one alone. Okay, leave this one. Go and do this one sharp. So that money can come in. You are leaving this one here, going for another one. That is opportunity one. But because you are sitting down in the office pressing laptop, you are not doing anything, you are idle. If they move you to that audit, you call them what? Nothing. Because you go collect your salary at the end of it. So that 3 idle man there is irrelevant cost. It's a relevant cost. And it's not necessary in our decision. Okay, let's continue. Where are we? Okay, a worker is required to work 180 hours a month, which is 20 working days. One worker will work for how many hours? 180 hours for 20 working days. And is paid with a monthly salary of how much? Of 50,000. Now let's look at it now. One worker. They will work for how many? 180 hours. For how many days?
20 working days.
For 20 working days. For 20 working days. For 20 working days. That's for 20. And that's what I'm saying now. That 180 hours for the whole 20 working days. And no one. How many workers do they need? 27. How many hours they need?
But they need 3 workers.
They need 3 workers to do that thing. Are you sure that they want to do it? There's only 3 workers that are hiding. And they need 3 workers to do the work, Abi. If you multiply this by 3, what do you get? Multiply this by 3, what do you get? Oh, yeah.
540. 540.
Look at it. Look at it. 3 workers are hiding. 3 workers are idle. They are not doing anything. It means you have a total hour in your pocket at your disposal. The total hour that is idle is 540 because 3 of them are working. And for this to finish this project, you only need how much? 270. One person cannot finish the work. It won't be enough. But I have more workers that are idle. If I combine all the workers that are idle, they surpass the hours required. As long as I'm paying these 3 workers that are idle, there's no irrelevant cost. It's not relevant. Because they are collecting their salary. All I just need to do, how much is 2? If you multiply this by 2, how much is that? 360. Even 3 workers, 2 workers out of the 3 idle can finish this job without any sweat. As long as I'm paying your salary, okay, go and do the work. I'm not paying you anything.
But they will be paid an incentive.
but there is a clause in that question. So now, let's go to the clause now. They said a worker is required to work 180 hours a month and is paid with a monthly salary of 50,000. That monthly salary is irrelevant. Either you do the work, accept the work or not, you must pay their salary. So they now continue. They said, in addition, each worker is paid with an incentive commission of 10,000 per order. How many order is this? It's one order. It's 10 gates, but one order. You understand? It's one order.
So all the workers will share 10,000
per worker. Is it not per worker they mentioned?
Per order, not per worker.
Is it per order?
Yeah, each worker, yes.
They said each worker.
Yes,
Let me read that part again. In addition, each worker, that is per worker, is paid cost of, I don't read that bit, is paid with an incentive commission of how much? 10,000 per order. This is one order. It's a special order, just one. But because I have 3 workers that are idle, they can now go and share the work. You understand? I will now multiply by 10,000. That is 30,000 incentive. But if I want to do it, I will say, but I can use 2 workers now. 2 workers can do this one. So why am I not paying 20,000? But if I'm paying 20,000, it means I have 10,000 I'm not using Abi. Then there will be 150, there will be 50,000. That will just collect salary for nothing for me. Why not go to that order? Go and do everybody, and I will pay you the incentive. And finish it on time, come back and let's do another one. Do you understand now? PM is very interesting and it's related to our day-to-day activities. It makes sense. So what do we now do now? We now come back and say our incentive will be 3 workers, 3 men multiplied by 10,000. I mean, that gives us what? That 30,000, what type of cost is that? Increment. It's incremental. Because if you are not accepting that order, you won't incur that. So it is an incremental of 30,000. This is only cost we have to have. Any question before we go? That is only relevant. 50,000 is irrelevant, but that 50,000 is for 3 workers. So multiply by 3, that's 150,000. 150,000 is irrelevant because they ask us to do both. Even anything, you know, in the beginning I said variable cost is relevant, fixed is irrelevant. You just need to understand all this grammar. We have to. Online, my people online, any issue? Today, you people stay, 41 people online. Interesting. Are we good to go? Can we continue?
Continue, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Let's write up. Now, let's go to the third one. Overheads. The budgeted overhead cost is how much? Is 100,000 for a month and is absorbed at a rate of what? 59. Underline that absorption. Absorption is not allowed in relevant cost. So anytime you hear absorption, it's irrelevant. Anytime you hear I do, is irrelevant. So absorption is not allowed in relevant cost. Apportion, you cannot afford, you cannot share. But there's question we need to continue. It is estimated that monthly overhead cost of the company will increase because of this project. So there's an incremental cost of 15,000 per what?
Per gate.
Per gate.
Per gate.
With this order. An incremental cost is what? Is relevant.
Irrelevant.
But production costing is not. That is how I can give you different costs. Now to confuse in the exam. Which one am I picking? Which one am I doing? But if you have followed the standard, the question, you will analyze it one by one. So let me clean this one off. Do I need to snap this? Let me snap it. We have overhead. So we have incremental at 15,000 per gate. Is it per gate or per order? Per gate. Per gate, and we are doing 10 gates. That gives us what?
150.
150,000.
Yes, sir.
That's all. That's the only thing that is relevant in that case. Absorption costing is not relevant. Okay. Okay, that's even all, Abi. Yeah. That's all. So the question is identify and compute what? The relevant cost and blah, 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 blah. So let's start with the relevant cost. So we just said relevant cost. For material, how much is that?
490,000.
490,000. So the we should move this. What is the reason? Replacement cost, Abi? Or market cost, whichever way.
Labor.
Then labor.
Labor.
How much? 30,000. That is incremental.
30,000. Overhead.
Overhead.
150,000.
Incremental, Abi?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
10,000.
6, 7.
Yeah.
That is the total relevant. Irrelevant cost. Irrelevant.
Material. For material.
Under material.
That's 60,000.
60,000.
60,000.
Some cost.
For labor.
Which is some cost, which is the
Yes, sir.
cost.
Labor 50,000.
Labor.
50,000.
That will be 50 times 3.
Yes.
Yes. 150.
Yes.
150.
That's 150,000. That is what? Committed cost.
I know. When you committed, yes.
Do you
Yes.
understand?
Committed.
Committed cost.
You have overhead.
Then overhead.
100,000.
100,000.
What is that? Absorption cost. Absorption. And absorption cost is not covered. So the total irrelevant cost is how much? You can just sum them together.
310.
310. 310.
The total irrelevant cost is 3. Total irrelevant cost is 3. That's what they ask me to do. Now, the next one now is what? They said we should know if it is what?
Information asset.
Okay. So what they ask us to do? What's the question exactly?
Set presentation of the income to accept the order on the basis of relevant cost.
Okay, so we can say the total revenue now.
800.
Revenue.
I can't see the board.
Sorry. So revenue will now be 10 gate, have you?
Yes. And 80,000.
Times 80,000 per gate. And that gives us 800,000, have you? Yes. That's the total revenue from that gate. Then relevant costs. 670. So what is that? Contribution? Is it contribution I'm supposed to write for profits?
Profit.
Profits.
Profits.
Is it profit or contribution?
Profit.
Profit.
So we have those fixed and
We have both fixed
So
and
there are so many. Yes.
there's element of profit and fixed cost there. Example come tomorrow, please.
130,000.
130,000. So 130,000 is the net from that project. So write this. So what do you think should be the decision?
Shall accept the project.
Oh, yeah, write the grammar for them. It's only the grammar they need. Write the grammar. The company, is it company they say we should advise? They mention company or management. Oh, yeah, right. The company. The company should accept the project as it gives 130,000 profits. As it gives 130,000 what? Profits. Chicken up. That's all. Now, let's pick next one. We can see that we are not joking again. That first two topic, I always take it for those who are going to join us later so that they will not miss much. They can easily look at that and understand. Just calculate it to understand. Look at the formula you are going to do. But this one, if you miss this one, now you're home. Okay, let's go to the next one. Because many people will still join in February. Many people will still join after today. Some people will still join. We know that.
Question 3.
Thank you.
Fair Limited is considering the introduction of a new product A that will be sold in a tube. The product will be sold to wholesalers at 80 per tube. Fixed cost of 1 million will be absorbed by the product when allocating a fair share of the company's present fixed cost to the new product. Estimated production and sales for the first year will be 100,000 tubes. Cost per unit, including an empty tube, is as follows. Direct materials 30, direct labor 20, total overheads 15. The company is considering purchasing empty tubes from an outside supplier at 9 naira or 9 RS per tube. If the empty tubes are purchased from outside, the direct labor and variable overheads would be reduced by 10%, while direct material costs will be reduced by 20%. You are required to assess whether the company should manufacture the empty tubes or buy the empty tubes from an outside supplier.
Thank you very much. This question is what we call make or what? Buy decision.
Right.
Is make or buy decision is under both relevant costs and investment appraisal. So anytime I can want to test make or buy, they will put relevant costs inside the investment appraisal. The first topic we treated, they have to put relevant costs there. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's why PM I can decide to test 3 topics in a question because all of them they are related. Just add it together. You don't understand one topic out of the 3 on your own. Just be eating your pen up and down. But it's simple. Let's see what to do. This one is done already. There's no need to snap this one. Okay, so let's read that place again. They said Fair Limited is considering the introduction of a new product. Of a new product A that will be sold in a tube. The product will be sold to wholesalers at how much? At 80 naira. And how many tubes do they want to produce? They did not tell us. We know later. They want to produce 100,000 tubes. Abi?
Yes.
Don't worry, let's continue. Fixed cost is 1 million, Abi?
Yeah.
Will be absorbed by the products when allocating a fair share of the company's present fixed cost to the new products. Estimated production and sales for the first year will be how much? 100,000 tubes. They are selling one per how much? 80 naira. The estimated revenue is 80 times 100,000.
100.
I mean 8 million.
8 million.
8 million. So 8 million is the revenue. Just like what we just finished. They now continue. Cost price per unit including an empty tube is as follows. Direct material, direct labor, total overhead is how much? Is 15. Are we good to go? Instead of 15, supposed to be 5. Let's take note of that. Supposed to be 5, not 15. It's 5. Yes, it's 5. Total overhead is 5. The company is considering purchasing empty tubes from an outside supplier at 9 naira per tube. How many tubes do they need? They need 100,000. So it means if they want to buy from outside, it's going to be what? 9 times 100,000. That is 900,000. If they want to buy from where? From outside.
Outside.
Okay. Then where are we? 900,000 tube. Okay. If the empty tubes are purchased from outside, the direct labor and variable overhead will be reduced by what? By 10%.
10%.
It means buying from outside does not mean that is the final cost on that production. There will still be a need of some touches, finishing touches from the company. But it will now make the cost of variable costs to reduce by what? By 10%. Why direct material cost will reduce by what? By 20%. Let me take that again. So they are not talking about the overhead. Okay, overhead. They said the direct labor and variable overhead will reduce by 10, Abi. Why the material will reduce by what? By 20. What is the requirement? Assess whether the company should manufacture the empty tubes or buy the empty tube from outside. So we start with make option. Make option. So if they want to make that particular tube, what are the costs they need? They have one material.
No material.
At how much?
13 naira.
Because material is a direct material, it's a direct cost. It will react to how many units you are producing. Yes or no? Yes. So we are producing. Yes. I mean, we are producing 100 tubes.
100 tubes.
That will be what?
300,000.
RS.
Sorry, sir, it's 3 million. No.
Is it 3 million?
Yes, sir, 3 million.
Thank you. That is the head for material. We have labor. At what? 20 naira. Per unit, I mean per tube. Multiply by 100,000.
2 million.
That's 2 million.
Overhead 5.
We have overhead 5 naira.
At 100,000.
At 100,000 tubes, Sabi?
Yes.
All these three are variable costs. Remember? So variable costs will always react to how many units you produce.
Yeah.
So when you multiply this, what do you get? 500,000. 500,000.
Yeah.
That's
Sir, please, why is overhead 5?
Overhead
Yes,
is 15.
I said you should correct it.
5.
I said you should correct it to 5. Okay. Then the next one is what? Fixed cost, Abi? Yeah. Or if you want to do it well. Okay, let's do this. I wanted to put fixed cost next. So the fixed cost at what?
1 million.
1 million straight away. You don't need to even multiply it by any unit because it's a fixed cost. So this is the total cost.
That's 1.5. Sorry, 6.5.
6.5. Oh.
Okay, 6.5. Are we good at this? That is the total cost. But is fixed cost supposed to be part of this? This is supposed to be for relevant, but they don't measure relevant cost, have you? Or did they measure relevant cost in the question?
They said it's irrelevant.
Because we are looking for the profit, have you? Yes. So this is what we have. The profit, when you are looking for the profit, you will look at the incremental, not this particular one, but because we want to make it as a decision. Even if we put this fixed cost or not, it will still be the same. You understand? Because if you want to buy, the fixed cost will still be part of that one, which is the same thing as what? As 1,000, as 1 million. So because we are working on relevant decision, I may decide not to use the fixed cost. That's not how we do.
No, I think we are right. Okay. I just let us now reduce it like same thing.
So this is make what? Option.
Make option.
Let's now go to buy option. The buy option now is that material will now be
reduced by 9
naira.
It's going to be reduced by 9 naira. Abi. That's 30 multiplied by what?
Reduced by 20%.
Is it 10%?
for labor?
10%.
Reduced by 20%.
20% for direct material.
Okay, yes.
6 naira. Well, you multiply by this. People will ask me, how did I get the 80 now?
100 minus 20.
Well, you multiply, what do you get?
24.
24 naira now.
Yes.
Because it's going to reduce by what?
20%.
So we have reduced it by this amount, by that percentage. You now multiply it by this. So it means 80% is the new cost now. Of this, 80% of this is cost. No, the figure, this 30 is 100 itself. Do you understand? So now multiply by what? By 100.
100,000.
By 100,000. 2.4.
Yes.
Yes, 2.4.
We are in labor
Labor,
by 10%.
that would be
20 times 0.90.
20 times 0.90.
18
So it's reduced to 18
times 1 million. Times 100,000, sorry. 1.8.
That's 1.8.
800. Overhead.
Reduced by 10%. You know. Said there is labor and variable variation. That's 5 times 0.9.
5 times 0.9.
That's 4.5.
4.5.
Yes, and times 100,000.
That's 450,000.
That was 450.
450.
Okay.
So where we have.
Okay, the fixed cost is just fixed.
1 million.
Huh?
I say for purchasing MT2.
They will also purchase MT2, Babi.
The 9 naira is for purchasing MT2.
How many two? Per two, Babi. Is it per two?
Yeah.
It will be part of this cost. MT2.
Yes. That's 9. 9 times 100,000. That's 900,000.
That was what?
900,000.
900,000. Let's remove this fiscal.
We have 5.5.
Let's remove the fiscal. Because we are working on that relevant topic.
That's
5
on 5.
So
then 5.550. 5,050,000. No, 5, 11, so should we make or should we buy? If you make or
huh?
you are making, we are not buying.
Are we making or buying?
We are making.
People of God, we are making a
Making.
so it's straightforward.
I'm going to round way.
Because of difference of what?
50,000.
So we have to.
We are making. We are making.
All right. So we are making. So who are those people that we are going to volunteer? You want to volunteer for the making stuff? Raise up your hand.
We cannot see we that we are online.
Okay, so we are making. Just write decision. Decision. Just write decision. Decision is what? What is it?
The management.
Therefore, the company should manufacture the MT3. The company should manufacture the MT. No, that's just the decision. That's all. Just put decision under this. The company should manufacture the MT2. Simple.
Sorry.
It is well.
On this way.
Are you tired?
This is my first class. It's somehow.
We know you people. You have been enjoying chicken. Welcome to the class. Oh yeah, let's go to the first question now. This is 611, Abi. Let's see how far we can go with that question. So if you can pick this one now, then you will now do the one in the assignment. At least we have done justice to it. If you now pick any question you cannot solve under relevant costing now, then something is happening for you. Just get angry when you get to go and get any question. Get angry and get any and just tell yourself I'm angry. Anywhere you see relevant course, just be attacking it. It may shake you a bit, sit down, understand it. You will see that if you apply the principle, you know that the thing is flowing together. You understand? But let's pick this last question for better understanding. So if you can finish it before 7, we can go. This should be the last question. We go finish our meal before you leave. Okay, it's like
because you gave us your time last week. You have to collect it back.
Yes, sir. I still have 2 more questions here. But we should be able to do that first. Okay, it's just a cheap question. Let's do the last question first. ICANN Pathfinder May 2018 question 3. Then I will now come back to I prefer this question 1. I prefer this question 1. It will not take us time. ICANN Pathfinder May 2022 question 1B. Then I will try to solve the other one too. If you are there, I'm there. Can you help us to read very quickly?
Okay.
I'm
I
not
can
there
pass
yet.
finance. Be 2022 question 1B. The company is considering the viability of investing in.
Louder a bit, sorry.
Yes.
The company is considering the viability of investing in a one-off order outside its normal budgeted routine.
That's the difference that was written.
Yes, I'm with you. Carry on.
Routine operation. The management accountant is requested to appraise the procurement and sale of some useful medical equipment. The following cost estimate has been prepared by a junior accountant. All figures are assumed to be correct. Explanation on the notes are: 1. The steel is regularly used and has a current stock value of 550 naira per square meter. There are currently 400 square meters in stock. The steel is readily available at the price of 55 naira per square meter. 2. The brass fittings would have to be bought specifically for the job. A supplier has quoted 800 naira for the fittings required. 3. The skilled labor is currently employed by the company and paid at the rate 80 naira per hour. If this job were undertaken, it will be necessary to either work 100 hours overtime, which will be paid at time plus 1/2, or reduce production of another product, which earns a contribution of 130 naira per hour. 4. The semi-skilled labor to complete the job currently has sufficiently been paid idle time to be able to complete this work. 5. The overhead absorption rate includes power cost, which is directly related to machine usage. If this job we are undertaking, it is estimated that the machine time required will be 40 hours. The machine incurs power cost of 7.7 naira 50 kobo per hour. There are no other overhead costs which can be specifically identified with this job. 6. The cost of the estimation time is that attributable to the 4 hours taken by the engineers to analyze the drawings and determine the cost estimates given above. 7. It is the company's policy to add 20% to the production cost as an allowance against administrative costs associated with the jobs accepted. 8. This is the standard profit added by the company as part of its pricing strategy. Required: prepare on a relevant cost basis the lowest cost estimate that could be used as the basis for a quotation. Explain briefly your reasons for using each of the values in your estimates. II. There may be a possibility of repeat orders from your be considered before quoting for this order. C. Explain the following concepts: incremental, differential, committed, sunk, opportunity cost.
Thank you very much. You can see that Jara they put for you. That one is bonus mark, Abi. Just pick it. So you should be able to grab your 5 marks from that place and pocket it. Because we have explained all those things. And when you see I can question, you will know. Because you can see. You give me story. What's it concerning that my junior accountant prepared something, they have come and correct it. So they will give you all this information they gave you has been prepared by a junior accountant. You as a senior accountant now, you now want to sit down and correct it using relevant. They know you're not senior, they just want don't mind them all. Okay, so we are using that same procedure. What is the first one they mentioned? What is the first item they mentioned? Steel. So let's start with the material first. Start with material. There are 2 types of material here, Abi. Yes. Steel and what?
Brass fittings.
And brass. Steel and brass. Steel, is this the first time do they have it in the store? Or let's say, what they require? How many steel is required? 40 square meter.
400.
Is it 400? 400 square meter, Abi?
Yes.
Where do we see 400 though?
Okay, they are currently 400 in store.
They need 40. They need 40. That's what you see required. Quantity used. They have done this job already. No, let's say they have not done the job, but they have prepared the management account. So if you look at the top now, that is what they have prepared. So they need 40 square meter for steel. You understand now? Are we getting? So they need 40, not 400. They need 40. But they have 400 in what? 400
in stock.
How they said?
Yes.
So 400
Yes.
is. We will now continue. Since we are not buying anything from the market, but we cannot say yes or no yet until we move further. What's the next question to ask? Is it regularly used?
Yes,
or
it's
not?
regularly used.
It is regularly.
Regularly used.
So since it's regularly used, what should we do?
Go and buy.
You will buy and replace. Yes. So we have to replace. Since we are going to replace, we use what?
Replacement cost. 55. 55 per square meter.
But this junior accountant has used how much?
50.
Is it right or wrong? That's
It's wrong.
That's what they want. Don't mind them, they put it intentionally. So total of this will now give us what?
2,200.
2,200. Reasons. Replacement. Any question? Simple and straightforward. Not so. So for brass, how many do you need for brass? At the front of this, you will see notes. Notes that it relates. They are giving you notes. So say 1 and 2.
Brass would have to be bought.
At the front of the steel, what do you see there? You see note 1.
It has to be bought.
Which note is talking about that steel? Note 1. At the front of brass, what notes can you see? 2. If you go to note 2, you will see the information. Yeah, let's go to note 2.
And the brass fitting will have to be bought.
We have to be bought because it's not in the market, Abi. And how many did they need?
800.
They didn't give us how many they need.
How many they need though? They just quoted the amount.
It was given as a total. They said the supplier has quoted how much?
800
naira.
You stop yourself. 800. You understand? That is market price. We are done with material, B? Yes or no? Yes. So I can decide to go for labor. For labor, what do we have?
Skilled labor is currently employed by the
Skilled.
So we have skilled labor.
We have skilled labor.
So for skilled labor, what happened to it?
100 hours.
What is the information at the front of skilled labor? What they tell you?
Skilled labor is currently
800.
and paid at the rate of 80 naira per hour. If this job were undertaken, it will be necessary to either work 100 hours overtime, which would be paid at time plus 1/2, or reduce production of another product, which earns a contribution of 130 naira per hour.
Okay, the skilled labor is currently what? Employed by the company. It's already a committed company. They have already employed you. We now want to know if those staff are idle or not idle. Are we good to go? Now let's continue. He's currently employed and paid at rate of 80 naira per hour. He's still we are still looking for more information. If this job were undertaken, it would be necessary to either work 100-hour overtime. It's the only overtime we are interested in. Because if we are not taking these projects, there won't be need for 100 hours overtime. But as a result of accepting this project, they will need to work for 100-hour overtime. Let's continue. Which will be paid at a time plus 1 hour. Are we good to go now? Or reduce production of another product, which has a contribution of how much? 130.
130 per hour.
We have two things in this labor from this scheme. Is it that we pay this 100-hour overtime, or we pull some staff from other place to come and do this, which will cost them 130. This 130, what do you call it?
Opportunity cost.
Tomorrow. Now I can't set it exact tomorrow. It's opportunity cost. For you to leave that place and pull the staff to this place, opportunity cost. But this bonus, it has come out. These 100 hours they want to pay, they are not going to pay them at 80 naira. 80 naira is the normal price. But when it is overtime, it will now be 1 hour. One hour multiplied by what? You know, 1 hour is one whole number, one
Yes.
hour. So 1 hour multiplied by 100 hour, what do you get? Multiplied by 100, what do you get? 4,000. This is not helpful. 1 hour.
12,000.
No, I meant to use them for me to do.
It is nice for you now.
I have to taste
12,000. 12,000.
You are making noise, yo. It's what?
12,000.
I don't understand again.
12,000.
12,000.
How do you get
12,000.
8 times 1.5 times 100.
It's what?
12,000.
For how many hours? For how many order? How many order are we talking about? This one is 120, 130, Abi. You say it's 12,000.
Yes.
This multiplied by 130, what do you get?
100.
100 times this. Which one do you think they should pick?
1,000. One of 10,000.
The lower one.
Is it the lower?
12,000.
The lower one.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
I'm with you. We are talking about labor.
This
I'm with you, bro.
the level is currently employed
Yes.
and they are being paid 50 naira per hour. Is that not irrelevant cost?
Yeah, is that 15 naira? Is it 15 naira they are paying them?
80 naira per
That 18 naira is not the one we are talking about. Do you understand? That normal work hour, they are already employed. We are not talking about one. That one is sink and sunk and go to. Do you understand? But if they want to go for this project, there will be need to work overtime of 100 hours. That 100 hours is an incremental cost. Because if they are not going for that project, they will incur extra 100 hours paid off. Do you understand now, ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
All right. So now we're now picking the lower Abi, people of God. So you just, by the time you see something, don't just say, because this one is this, I will just go. You have to confirm the second alternative before you move ahead. So by now, we know what to do. So I will now come back here and say, 80 naira Abi, multiplied by 1.5, multiplied by 100 what? Hours. That gives me 12,000. This one is called what?
Incremental cost. Incremental.
Incremental. If I'm to be you, I will put notes. I will draw it like this. If you see my notes, me, I used to draw. I will draw something like this, spark, and I will put 130 multiplied by 100 equals to 13,000. Choose the lower. Do you understand?
Sorry,
When
sir.
you keep your notes, you understand what has happened there. Yes, you are with me. What do you say?
Please, I wanted to ask that, is there a basis for picking maybe the highest or lowest? Because in the last question that we saw for material, we picked the highest, but now for labor, we picked the lowest.
That one is material and it is alternative and scrap. Between alternative and scrap, pick the what? The highest. But here now, this is talking about the labor. Do you understand? So just follow the step. Just know that when it is labor, this is what we are going to do. When it is material, this is what we are going to do. Know the process. Once you get the step, apply it anywhere. It will work for you. So the next one is on skills. Is this semi-skills? Semi-skill. Semi-skill. What do we have about the semi-skill? Any information?
Semi-skill complete the job currently as sufficiently maintain idle time to be able to complete this work.
Sir, you have shortened our view.
Hey, sorry. Anytime you see I do, just pagile like this. It's irrelevant.
Overhead.
Irrelevant. So we only have two types of labor, have we?
Yeah.
So the next one is overhead.
Overhead. The overhead absorption rates.
Anytime you hear absorption, just ignore. But before you ignore, move ahead and see if there's something attached to that information.
Overhead absorption rates includes power cost, which is directly related to machine. If these jobs were undertaken, it is estimated that the machine time required will be 40 hours. The machine incurs power cost of 7 points. There are no other overheads.
That one now.
Gift, yo. And everybody, you can pin as of accountant. Pin as of accountant so that as other people are talking, you will not be disturbed. You will still be seeing me. Okay, thank you. Let me take it. That is the number 5, Abi.
Yeah.
The overhead assumption rates include power cost, which is directly related to the machine usage. If these jobs were undertaken, it is estimated that the machine time required will be what? 40 hours. The machine incurs power cost of 750 per hour. So 7.50 kobo per hour. And they are using how many hours? 40. Because this is a direct cost, power cost. And as a result of this, it's going to what? It's going to react to how many or whatever project you want to do. So we recognize it. But assuming they stop at only the assumption, we will just ignore it. Do we understand?
The further said there are no other overhead costs. This can be specifically identified.
That's what I said. There are no other overhead costs which can be specifically identified with this job. Now look at it. From the list of the relevant costs, scroll back to the up. When I was mentioning relevant costs for you, specific is part of it. Can you see specific in there? Yeah. Check the material. Can you see specific cost there? Yeah. Is it relevant or irrelevant? It's irrelevant. And here, when they want to finish that grammar, they now use that grammar to finish you. If you don't understand, they say there's no other way except the one they just mentioned now. It is specific cost. And once it's a specific cost, it is relevant. So we now come back here and say 40 hours, have we? Multiply by 7.5. What do we get?
300.
300.
300 naira. So this 300 is relevant. And it's relevant as a result of what? Specific cost. It is specific cost. Yes.
You said it's irrelevant or what?
It is relevant.
Specific cost is relevant. It's relevant.
Is it RIRR or R?
It's
relevant, yo. Relevant. For relevant.
Okay.
For relevant. Okay. What again do we have to?
The cost of the estimation. The cost of the estimation type is that attributable to the 4 hours taken by the engineers to analyze the drawing and determine the cost estimate given approved.
Let him be that one.
Our
four manager, they will see that they are planning, waiting for standard with planning. If you like plan, if you like don't plan. That planning is a sunk cost. If you like plan. If you like, you can say no, we are not going for it. You can say yes, we are going for the project. Because it's a sunk at development stage. So that 4 managers is what? What do we call it, sir? Engineers. Some what? Some. Anything at the planning stage is irrelevant. Because we can decide we are not going for it again. So nothing will happen. Okay, what again do we have? People of God. Number 7. It is the company policy to add 20% to the production cost as an allowance against administration costs associated with the job what? Accepted. This is the standard profit added by the company as part of the what? Pricing strategy. Is it part of it? It's not part of it. It's not part of the cost. It's not the cost that they are going to incur. It's just like a provision. It's a provision. And provision is irrelevant cost. You know, it's provision. For example, now maybe you are the one that is doing all this blind for us. You understand? When you want to do this blind, you say, this thing is 500,000. But you didn't tell me this 500,000. You know that what is going to cost you is 500,000. So all the total cost, you now charge 10% as your own profit. You understand? That 10% you charge as your own profit, you will add it to my own cost. You will now give me as a total cost. But that 10% is already your own what? Your own profit. That 10% you put there is not a direct cost, it's just a provision so that you can have your own profit. So it's not relevant. Here we are getting it. So it means this is all our total costs. Sum it together, what do we get? Sum it together, what do we get?
15,300.
15,300. You can say total relevant cost. Total relevant cost is 15,300. So you can go back to the park to read the theory aspect, but it's the same theory we have done in the class. So don't expect me to go back to that theory. What's the time now? So you can still pick the last one now very quickly. Give me 20 minutes. I will go give me.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Are they with you?
Sorry to draw you back, but I didn't get on the labor part, on the skill, the 80 by 1.5. I didn't get.
What they said in that question is that, normally, if you are working per day and your payment is 5 naira per day, normally it's 5 naira per day. If I want to come on Saturday, which is overtime for me, I'm not expecting you to pay me that same 5 naira. It should be more than 5 naira because I'm coming from my comfort, incomfortable, how do you want to put it? Inconvenience time. Thank you. So I'm expecting like something like 6 or 7 naira for that day. That's why many people, they like going to Saturday overtime because you will get more money from you. So the same thing to this. If they work normally, they will earn 80 naira per hour. Do you understand? But because it is overtime now, what is 1.5 multiplied by 80? Can you help me? 1.5 multiplied by 80. Eh? 120 naira. So it means if you are coming for overtime, if you are doing overtime, you will be collecting 120 instead of 80 naira normal time. And you are working for how many hours extra hour? 100 hours. So they said 1.5 or 1 half. 1 half means 1.5. Do you understand now, Mr. George? Oh yeah, feedback. Let me get you. If it's not clear, let me take it again. Let's continue.
Sir, please take it again. Sorry.
If you're not clear, you will say it's not clear. Which one do you want me to take again? Oh yeah, read this. Read that statement for me. Maybe I should stop here. It's not necessary to. You can finish remaining this last question, and I will give you. Just look at the solution, you will get it. Because we have done justice to it. Then I will now give you that 2020 what? 2024 question 4. I will send it to the class. That will be 2 assignments. Finish this last question. That is May 2018. Do it. Then the new one too. Do it that one as well. So it means we have completed the relevant course. So let me quickly go back to this one. Fortune, can you help us read that statement under the skill labor?
The skilled labor is currently employed by the company.
Thank you. Hold on. They are currently employed by the company. Either we go for this project or we don't go for this project, we will pay them because agreement is what? Is agreement. 1 month salary must be there. We are already committed to that one. And committed cost is irrelevant cost. So we cannot say it's relevant. It's irrelevant. Either we have job, we don't have job. we must pay them. So irrelevant costs, we cannot put it here. So that is why we did not pick that
But sir,
committed.
can we call that one committed cost?
That's what I said. It's a committed cost.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, continue from where you stopped now. Thank you.
If this job we are undertaking, it will be necessary to either work 100 hours overtime, which
Now,
will be paid at.
Thank you. If this job is undertaking, there's now a condition. If they are going for this job, it will be necessary to spend another what? 100 hours as a result of taking this one. It means this 100 hours is different from their normal time. Maybe they are going to be working in the middle of the night to complete the project. We don't know. Or maybe they'll be going on Saturday to complete the project. Are we getting that now? That 100 hours is what? Is incremental. It's incremental cost. So now they are not telling us how the incremental cost is going to be what? Is going to be paid. Can you go ahead now? Thank you.
Which will be paid at time plus 1/2. Or
it will be paid what?
At time plus 1/2.
At time. What is at time? What is at time? Their normal time they have been collecting is 80 naira. At time. And what?
Plus 1/2.
And 1/2. That is 1.5. At time is 80. And 1/2 is what? Is 0.5, which is half. So if you want to do it in another way, you can say half of 80 is what? 40. 40 plus 80 make it what? 120. It's the same thing. At time plus half. That is what they are going to control. It means they are going to be collecting 120 per hour over time. Then multiply by 100 hours. You will get 2,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that should be clear now. I mean, the thing never clear now. You don't clear. 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 It has to be clear. So next week, by God's grace, let's look at transfer pricing. Though they tested transfer pricing last night, but you cannot say they are not bringing it in here. That's high council. No, we are going to cover all the topics. There are about 30 topics. You can see my other colleague is taking the other side of it. By God's grace. You can see the way we are moving. This relevant courses don't go with that. We still have like 4 months to go, Abby. It's up to 4. That's 3 months. 3 months is enough. No time to waste. But it's not left for you to be reading on your own. No. We can cover everything. If you are not reading, no compliments. We have to compliment each other. Are we getting that now? And I will be switching phone now. I will start putting phone on my pocket when I'm going. I can see from here, but I don't want to say anything for now. I can see phones. I can see phones. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we meet next week by God's grace.